Kids are glued to a violent Japanese cartoon show.
Sometimes I be riding your face and hit like genjutsu in place. That's how it be though. Nothing but great effort just to get a C though. Eyes watching but we never seem to be though.
So I wanted to talk about a time where the Wall Street Journal tried to destroy Dragon Ball Z. They wrote an article and they basically tried to lynch the series and get it out of here back in its heyday. Now, a lot of people don't know just how popular Dragon Ball Z is. Yeah, you've probably seen it in the early 2000s, or you've seen kids watching it and people being inspired by it, but people don't realize just how much of an impact and how big of a magnitude it had even back then, to the point where one of the biggest American cartoons at the time, especially The Simpsons, it was rivaling that in ratings. It was doing incredible ratings to the point of rivaling something like that. Now, when you take into consideration the fact that this was a Japanese cartoon that was, already over for about, 3, 4, 5 years at that point, and is airing on American television and competing with The Simpsons. And of course, when popularity and acclaim comes, there goes the clout chasers. These are like the OG clout chasers. Wall Street Journal tried to shut down Dragon Ball Z with an article that I've known about for a while. I think with the Toyotaro scandal that recently happened, it kind of just got me thinking about different mob mentality. So I wanted to take a look at it, read you guys a little bit of this great piece of humor, and get you guys' perspective. Again, this is early 2000s when these people tried to take down Dragon Ball. Thankfully, the spirit and the incredible nature of this series allowed it to basically shit on it and say, nah, it ain't going nowhere, because 18 years later, some odd years, it's still rocking, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, nice try, but let's take a look at the article. Kids are glued to a violent Japanese cartoon show. I love how they gotta add in Japanese. They can't just say a violent cartoon. They gotta throw in Japanese, trying to add a little bit of a racial debate there. Like, oh, darn it, like, I see you, yo. Again, this is way long ago, you know what I'm saying? This isn't even in the social media age where people pull shit just to, you know what I'm saying? This is the OG clout chasing again, but let's continue. Dragon Ball Z is bringing Impalement, Strangulation to the after-school crowd. Mind you, this was back when Dragon Ball Z would come on Toonami. It'd be about like 4:30, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I can't really remember exactly. I want to say it was about 5 o'clock is when they would air the Toonami block and you get new episodes of Dragon Ball Z or whatever. For starters, I think there's something very big that needs to be said here, and it's a discussion and a statement that'll go on to the test of times, and that's that if this Japanese cartoon is bringing impalement and strangulation to the after-school crowd, there's something called parents, and you should be parenting your child to not watch things that you deem they're not, supposed to be watching or shouldn't watch. So whenever I see these things, and it's like, so what, is Akira Toriyama supposed to go to Toei and Shueisha and say, hey, before you license that, make sure that the kiddos in America at 5 o'clock, no, the parents are supposed to do that shit. I hate that right there. That really upsets me when I see shit like that. And again, mind you, this is like almost 2 decades ago, probably 2 decades ago when this shit was written, but that's a parent's job to deem what is and isn't acceptable for their child to watch. By the way, this article is by Sally Beatty from the Wall Street Journal. As many a young child already knows, Dragon Ball Z, a violent animated series imported from Japan, is a huge cartoon hit. A sort of Pokemon meets Pulp Fiction. Whoa! Pokemon meets Pulp Fiction. My gosh, whoever wrote this is really, wow. Pokemon meets Pulp Fiction. I'm gonna just continue because I'm just baffled at the ignorance already, but let's continue. The show is much darker than the average kiddie cartoon. Every weekday afternoon on Time Warner Inc.'s Cartoon Network, they gotta make sure to bring in the people, so in case they see this and some backlash hits, Time Warner will drop Dragon Ball, classic little tactics that these people use. Mind you, the same people that try to get PewDiePie the fuck up out of here. But again, let's continue. Characters age, die. Well, for starters, people do age. That happens. People also do die, and again, it's a parent's job to deem whether their kid is capable of handling seeing death in a cartoon, and get vaporized, suffering far worse fates than Wile E. Coyote ever did. Talking about comparing this to Looney Tunes. Wow, but even back then, I don't forget things. the Looney Tunes was under scrutiny for all the violence and shit like that, but this is just an incredibly ignorant piece, and I'm having a good time seeing how stupid some people could be. Brutality is a staple, even though Goku tries his best to try to protect people, and when he does use violence, it's just because, hey, these people are trying to destroy and kill my friends. I mean, don't get it twisted. At its core, Goku wants to be stronger or whatever, but it's not like he's using violence like Goku's trying to go hurt somebody or some shit like that. When violence comes to him, he has to handle it, and I think that's every man, you know what I'm saying? Goku has tried to, do things with words. I mean, look at what happened with Vegeta and Krillin. He said, no, don't do nothing to him. Again, showing a positive message and giving a little bit of reality of where situations can be, but the best route to do sometimes isn't to hurt people and things like that. So, good job. What's your name again? Sally, I don't know where you're at right now. 20 years ago, you wrote this. You were an idiot 20 years ago. Let's continue. In one recent episode, beads of sweat from the brow of a character named Vegeta. Ooh, there was sweat. As he is nearly strangled to death by an evil foe named Frieza. Yes, an evil foe, which means don't be evil because that's bad. In another, Frieza uses the horns on his head to impale a good guy named Krillin through the chest. Yes, because people walk around with horns on their head and people can actually reenact that, right? Like, mesmerized kids are tuning into the Cartoon Network in record numbers. Dragon Ball Z attracted an audience of 1.7 million households on September 30th, the largest number in the network's history. Yeah, that's right, baby. Anime was doing his thing, bro. Dragon Ball carried the community, carried the culture on his back. Yeah. The show's ratings amongst 6 to 11-year-olds, the demographic group most covered by children's advertisers. Yeah, I was about like around that age when I was watching Dragon Ball. You're damn right. Hells yeah. 95% in the fourth quarter through November 30th from a year earlier. Yeah, it was successful. You mad? Like, you was mad? I gotta keep talking past tense because this was an old article, but I really get into it because this is one that I wanted to talk about for a while. Let's continue. Nearly 1 million kids in that age group tuned in to watch the show October 1st, another record for the network. Advertisers are lining up too, including Hasbro Inc. and Mattel Inc. Even the US Navy is running Mako recruitment ads at the end of the show. Hey, why not? If kids are inspired and this makes them want to save their country, what's wrong with that? You saying that the US Navy is bad? You stupid? Dragon Ball Z is also crackling on the web, on the cartoon, even though the web really wasn't shit at the time, but whatever. On the Cartoon Network's internet site, it generates among the most inquiries of any of its shows. Last week, Dragon Ball Z ranked as the 5th most requested topic on the Lyco search site behind singer Britney Spears and the Pokemon cartoon, but ahead of the World Wrestling Federation and Pamela Anderson. Damn, bro, yo, Dragon Ball Z was outdoing Jugs? What? Based on the success of Dragon Ball Z, the network plans to boost its programming time devoted to Japanese animation to 3 hours from 2 hours. That's when Toonami really started like, yo, we need this anime shit, bro. It's lit. Goku on the left is a hero in Dragon Ball Z. On the Cartoon Network show, he battles the menacing Frieza. Adding 2 new shows next year, Gundam is a tale of bad guys from outer space. Again, you can't replicate outer space bad guys, but whatever. And Tenchi Muyo, 2 classics, man. Oh, this was the golden age, baby. I love hearing this, man. I love reading about this. I remember when all this was going down. It's a story of a ladies' man caught up in an interstellar war. The Cartoon Network says it hasn't had complaints from parents or advertisers. No, it didn't, baby, because Dragon Ball is the GOAT. About the show's violent content. In fact, the US distributor and licensing agent of Dragon Ball Z, Funimation Productions. That's crazy that I was a fan at this point, and now I got a partnership and I rock with Funimation. I've met Gen Fukunaga. I've hung out with Chris Sabat, Sean Schimmel, you know what I'm saying, like Justin Cook, you know what I'm saying, like, it's wild. When this was being written, I was a little kid trying to fucking make my hair look Super Saiyan, and now I rock with these people. Holla. That was so corny. Holla. Who says holla? Says the show is toned down for US sensibilities. It was edited. There was edited tapes on top of that. So yeah, it was edited, baby. They were thinking about the kiddos, I guess. Blood is often edited out and frames are erased to soften the blows in certain battle scenes. Cartoon Network also runs anger management spots that appear during Dragon Ball Z and other shows. So again, they were thinking. There's nothing wrong with being angry, counsels a bobble-headed host in a spacesuit. Oh my god, are they talking about Tom? Did they just describe Tom as a bobble or bubble-headed host in a spacesuit? It's all in how you deal with it. Anger can be a motivational tool. The network says there is no connection between the spot and the show's content. That's funny. I'm pretty sure that was Tom. That's hilarious. And There is nothing wrong. At the end of the day, if you channel your anger to do positive things, like, hey, you know, you just saw somebody that you care about get hurt. You get angry a bit about it, right? But the way you react is, okay, you know what? I'm going to use that anger to make sure I do everything I possibly can to see my friend gets help and gets better. There's nothing wrong with that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think they were trying to turn some of these things into, hey, you know, if you can't get the lesson, let's make it clearer for you with Tom or whatever, and that's still fucking hilarious. Betty Cohen, president for Cartoon Network, says Dragon Ball Z is no worse than other popular Japanese programs like the Power Rangers or Digimon. People don't even know that the Power Rangers is, you know, from Sentai and all of that Super Sentai and shit. A show about mechanized monsters currently airing on News Corp Fox Kids. Oh, Digimon, yeah. Well, even though Digimon was pretty much like, you know, a Pokemon ripoff or whatever. Some people argue Digimon was better. I don't know. I never was a Digimon guy. I've seen a bit here or there. I like some of the earlier stuff, but yeah, people are attracted to action and people in battles with certain forces and unusual characters, but it's not about real life human stuff, which again, I don't think if I go like this and say Kamehameha, shit is gonna come out. I don't think I have horns on my head. I don't think I can wrap my tail around someone's neck and choke them with it. None of that is replicable. Gundams, we don't have giant mech. This goes all into, in general, how they try to censor anime back in the days and where anime's at now, because we're in a better time, even though we're in a more kind of sensitive time, but we're sensitive to other things besides action and shit. It's weird, whatever. Miss Cohen, young boys tune into Dragon Ball Z for some of the same reasons people go to sports events. That is so true. Like, I watched, you know, when Super was airing every night. To me, when there was a big fight especially, it was like, yo, like, you know, when people want to go see the Lakers or whatever, that's what that is for us anime fans. And I can't believe that, you know, nearly 2 decades ago, they tried to take down anime and Dragon Ball Z when it was just first having its uprising. And Sally Beatty, wherever you are, enjoy! Have an awesome day. Subscribe and follow my social medias. Anime and manga for life, boy! Bow. Have an awesome day.
Make a major move, laugh and let the haters lose. We don't give a fuck, virginity intact, cream stack. Paper rules, if you heard it, best believe that. But now it's whatever, one day I'll be your favorite, but never. No matter how you get it done, no matter